the rest of the world. Today is Monday, August 12th, AD 2024, and I'm Anthony Vowen anchoring. In the big stories we're following this afternoon, President Joseph Boakai dedicates modern judicial complex in Rivers County.
The Queen has a call for strengthening democracy, reinforcing the rule of law, and lifting the act of governance in our country.
The Finance Ministry refutes claims of alterations in the 2024 national budget by some members of the legislature.
Before you get to the public, you should be able to say that, well, we cited the Ministry of Finance or we made inquiries with the Ministry of Finance for information on X, Y, and Z issues, and this was their response.
Information Minister Gerald Limekpia re-echoes government's position to fully implement the General Auditing Commission's and Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission's reports. In Tanzania, police detained opposition leaders and rounded up several hundred supporters as they halted a planned rally. Leaders of the opposition Chadema party, including former presidential candidate Tundu Lissu, were arrested Monday in the southwestern city of Mbeya. The details of these, the news in French, sports, the weather are all lined up, but first we will bring you the bulletin of news on the news line this afternoon.
President Joseph Boakai has dedicated a modern judicial complex in Rivers County. The dedicator ceremony was graced by an array of government officials, including Chief Justice Sianian Yo and Justice Minister Councillor Oswald Twe, among others. The judicial complex contains several courts, including revenue, debt, traffic, and rape, following its completion in 2023. According to our reporter, the state-of-the-art complex also holds a residential quarter for judges and other judicial actors assigned in the county. At the same time, President Joseph Boakai says government remains resolute in strengthening its democracy, reinforcing the rule of law, and uplifting the act of governance in Liberia. According to President Boakai, this is a renewed commitment to lift Liberia onto a new trajectory of governance and nation building. The Liberian leader believes this can be achieved when citizens imbue a new mindset and forge a united front in addressing issues confronting every fabric of Liberia's growth.
The Queen has a call for strengthening democracy, reinforcing the rule of law, and lifting the act of governance in our country. Kindly accept my gratitude and Chief Justice for the thoughtful invitation extended me to be a part of this serene ceremony. And exercise falls squarely in some of the government drive for the decentralization of the means of governance and the devolution of power and authority to a broader segment of our population.
President Boakai made a remarks at the dedication of a judicial complex in Rivers County Monday. The president re-signed a call for cooperation among the branches of government in ending corruption, abuse of power, travesty of justice, which he termed as critical areas that needs a holistic fight. The executive, through the Finance Ministry, has refuted claims of alterations in the 2024 national budget by some members of the legislature. The ministry said, though there is no specific reference to the part of the budget alleged to have been altered, House Speaker Councillor Funati Kofa has asked the Senate to jointly investigate the allegation. But in an ELBC interview on Monday, Acting Finance Minister Anthony Myers said the allegation was only brought to the ministry's attention through social media posts from some lawmakers.
Before you get to the public, you should be able to say that, well, we cited the Ministry of Finance or we made inquiries with the Ministry of Finance for information on X, Y, and Z issues, and this was their response.
Minister Myers urged those making such claim, including members of the legislature, to state the specific areas in the budget that were altered for prompt verification. Meanwhile, the acting finance minister has described as successful ongoing nationwide consultations on the 5-year National Development Plan. Information Minister Jerry Limekpia has reaffirmed government's position to fully implement the General Auditing Commission and Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission reports. Minister Pia's statement comes in the wake of recent arrest warrant issued some former government officials for allegedly stealing millions of United States dollars from government. In an ELBC interview Monday, he said government would not compromise the case and pledged to press for the adjudication to serve as a deterrent.
If you want to hold people accountable, not an event that you can just have an instant creation environment to say, let there be light and there was light. It's a process. And if you don't give the process a chance and start to make conclusions about what you think the intent is, it means you yourself not serious about the country.
The information minister wants Liberians embrace government stance against alleged corrupt public officials and stop criticizing the initiative. Meanwhile, Minister Pierre has reassured of government's commitment to holding public officials accountable for acts that tend to undermine the growth and development of Liberia. Foreign Minister Sarah Beslow Yanti is heading high-level delegation of diplomatic missions on a field trip to Kokata Margibi County. The delegation will visit the former rice production field in Bone Mines, the Kokata Central Prison, Kokata Administrative Building, and the Kokata Cassava Farm. The field trip will also conclude a visit to the Booker Washington Institute, Castle Farm, and Soke Town in Kokata Margibi County. The trip is aimed at inspecting projects implemented by government and development partners in the area. Assistant Mines and Energy Minister for Mineral Resource Development and Conservation, Carlos Edison, has pledged to curb nationwide illegal use of dredging in mining activities. Minister Edison said such action is detrimental to the environment, local communities, and the economy of the country. He noted the ministry is determined to take decisive action to prevent and clamp down on unscrupulous miners. Minister Edison emphasized the need for interagency collaboration to combat illegal mining activities in the country. The Assistant Mines and Energy Minister made a pledge over the weekend in Grand Croix County. The chairperson of the College of Health Sciences at the Nema County University, Lydia Walker, has announced plans to elevate the department to a BSc degree level. Madam Walker said the department has been mandated to meet key requirements by the National Commission on Higher Education. She named classrooms, current medical books, and more equipment for the lab, among others, as challenges confronting the college. Madam Walker has commended stakeholders in education and health sectors for their support towards the proposed water initiative. Speaking over the weekend in San Nicolas, Nema County, the Nema University chairperson of the College of Health Sciences also urged other neighboring counties and foreign nationals to venture into medical profession. A 15-year-old girl has reportedly been gang raped by 5 men in Weipo, Kanweke, and River G County. The incident occurred when the victim asked a motorcyclist identified as Alvin Doe to transport her to her grandmother's house. Our correspondent said the motorcyclist called 4 of his friends who joined him to carry out the act. The victim is undergoing treatment at the Fishtown Referral Hospital, where doctors confirm the girl has been tampered with. Meanwhile, police in River G County have launched a manhunt for the 4 other perpetrators, while the prime suspect is in police custody. An agent of the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency in Grand Croix County has admitted to raping a 14-year-old girl in the county. According to our correspondent, suspect Exodus Kofa allegedly abused the girl when she went to sell iron soap in the area. Our correspondent quotes suspect Kofa as saying the victim consented to the act but later told the Liberian National Police that she was raped. The victim is currently seeking medical attention at the Barclayville Health Center, as report reveals that she was sexually abused. Meanwhile, suspect Kofa has been charged with statutory rape and sent to court for trial. And the Grand Cape County Detachment of the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency is investigating 2 persons believed to be Sierra Leoneans in possession of the infamous Kush drug in Bow Waterside. The street value of the drugs is put at over 40,000 United States dollars. According to our correspondent, suspects Asumana Sise and Abdullah Sando were arrested recently while crossing the Liberian border from Sierra Leone. The suspects are currently in police custody awaiting court trial. Meanwhile, LGEA commander in Grand Cape County, Saduno Faya, is appealing for a scaling machine to be assigned at Bow Waterside border to enable officers to identify the total street value of drugs being confiscated.
Fabin Quia with the news bulletin, a regular feature on Newsline. Well, it was not until last week when some members of the legislature took to social media to raise claims that the 2024 national budget was altered. There is no specific reference to the part of the budget it is alleged to have been altered, but House Speaker Councillor Fonati Kofa has asked the Senate to jointly investigate the allegation. Well, the executive through the Ministry of Finance has for the first time reacted to the allegation in an interview on the Super Morning Show. Vavle Kamara began by asking Acting Finance Minister Anthony Myers if the allegation has claimed the ministry's attention.
Yeah, definitely it has claimed our attention, but we can say it hasn't caused any unnecessary panic among us because, just like you mentioned, they are all claims, and claims always have to be verified.
The speaker has also publicly said that he's probing this matter. You could be called to the House to further explain this. I mean, just to understand, and for the layman to understand when they talk about budget alteration, what exactly the perception is.
Well, I can speak to people's perception, but talking about whether the speaker or other lawmakers will want to probe, that for us is the best alternative. That is